and the Jets were playing the Browns. It was like 4th and 5. And the Jets went for it. They only got 3 yards. So the ball technically go to the Browns, who could run out the clock. But the Browns safety man got so happy, he took off his helmet and threw it in the air. He shouted before the game was over. The referee then penalized him 15 yards, gave the Jets a first down, they kicked a field goal and won the game. My concern tonight is that many of us have shouted before the game is over. I said earlier today, as we went from Tuskegee to the leadership session this morning at the museum, and then on to Booker Washington, then to Lanier, and then to Shorter throughout the course of this day, that there are 4 movements in the symphony. The first movement is to end legal slavery. We had reason to sing songs how it got over, because there was a lot to come over. And then to fight against legal Jim Crow. My mind looked back and wondered how I got over. It was a lot to get over. And then the right to vote. What a great breakthrough. But I argue tonight that you can be out of slavery, out of legal Jim Crow, have the right to vote, and starve to death. Unless you get access to capital, industry, technology, deal flow, and broadband. You can have the right to vote, be out of slavery and out of Jim Crow, unless you have access to capital, industry, technology, deal flow, and broadband. We cannot go into the full stage, which is to access to capital, industry, technology, deal flow, and broadband. As we shared today, talking back and forth with Mayor Neal and with Johnny and other allies this morning, what Fred and Arthur Shores and Mrs. Carr and those leaders did, they figured out how to end legally Jim Crow, and they figured, and they won. They figured out how to attack the voting rights discrepancy as a states' rights phenomenon, and they won. We have not figured out how to end crippling poverty, and we have not won. So tonight we are here in Macon County. We're in charge of everything, including poverty. We are spending more time on who's going to get elected to run the poverty than to end the poverty. Can I get a witness here? Dr. King's last campaign, beyond voting, was a poor people's campaign. Not how do a few of us, blessed, smart, energetic, how can we get through the crack because we had the Voting Rights Act, but how can the rest of us, not just the blessed of us, get through the crack? And so we have, because we do have education in the main in this room. We are teachers and lawyers and doctors and politicians and business. We have made it through the crack. But our character is measured by how we treat the least of these. That's why the Wolf School matters to me and Shorter. That's why going and looking at people who still have outdoor toilets matter. That's why children in the 12th grade reading the 5th grade level matter. That's why the biggest industry in Alabama tonight is not gaming. It's exciting and economic revenue job creator. The biggest industry is not cotton. The single biggest industry is a jail industrial complex for profit. And who is a new cotton? Except those who can neither read, nor reason, nor write, nor think. And so somewhere between being entertainers on Saturday afternoon at the big ball game and economic forces in the jails come Sunday through Sunday, that is our unfinished business. I say this and I challenge you tonight as we think through Milton and Greg and Johnny, as Neil, as we think this thing through, that when I went to the mayor's conference last week in Las Vegas, I saw an amazing revelation. You say, well, we had this man, he didn't deliver, and that lawyer, he didn't deliver, you got this state rep, he didn't deliver. I saw something that I'd never seen before as clearly as I saw it then. Because there's been a big stimulus out of Washington. $750 billion backed up by trillions with the right guy in office, our guy as the president, and somehow we watered the leaves but not watered the roots. Somehow Wall Street rejoices because the stock is going up and poverty is going up. 8.5 million jobs in the last 18 months. Unemployment's going up. 4.5 million homes foreclosed this year, and that's going up. 100 billion student loan debt, and that's going up. And so how do we address getting the water to the roots? Friend, that's our unfinished business. And what occurred to me was, even when the water hits, it goes either to Washington, to New York, and stops right there and recycles, or goes to big cities and comes down. It never quite gets to rural America where the most of us live. Why can't we think a different thought? We need a major grant pool hired by the government, grant writers. These towns are too small to file for the grant. U.S. Department of Agriculture is where our possession lies. In a real sense, all towns under 30,000 come in the Department of Agriculture. It's not just farming. They have housing at 5% interest. They produce schools, libraries, swimming pools, technical assistance. In addition to foodstuffs,